I was looking at the contract, he goes, I noticed their deposit was only $100. He's like, I want to make sure because the lowest he's ever seen is between 5 and 10,000. He said over 5%.
For the most part, these are very common questions because the reality is, most real estate transactions go down the normal way, right? You list a property, you do your walkthroughs and your showings and all that. So that's what people are used to. So anything that's not that, usually it comes with extra questions. And so this is something we're well versed in. We deal with it all the time. Our job is to make you feel really comfortable and, hold your hand through the whole process and, give you that peace of mind knowing that you made the right decision. What's up, everybody? It is your boy, Chris Closes Your Deal with Real Estate Investing Made Easy and Lazarus Property Group. And in this call, we're about to call a seller who we just locked up on a novation agreement, who just texted a little bit of an objection to the $100 earnest money deposit. And so basically, I told the realtor that I signed and he noticed the earnest money was only $100. He said the lowest he has ever seen is $5,000 to $10,000, 5%, which raises the question of closing day monies and already being gone type like thing. Not really sure what that means. Now that I put ink to paper, request an up to get in game. Basically, what he's looking for is a larger earnest money deposit. Now, for those of you who don't know, with a novation, we're not actually the end buyer. We have a multi-tiered approach with multiple different buyers where we have buyers constantly coming to us looking for deals. And when we get that end buyer, they're going to be putting a more substantial earnest money deposit down. So that's going to be the response. And we'll just jump into that real quick, make it super easy. But also people that are putting 5% earnest money deposit or anywhere from 1% to 5% earnest money deposit, those are end buyers who are looking to buy one property at a time. We're doing multiple deals every single day, 10, 20, 30 deals a week. And so we don't put that much money down for earnest money because that would severely limit the volume of deals we'd be able to do. And so our standard is $100 because there has to be consideration for it to be a legally binding contract. So I'm going to reach out to him and go over that. Hey, what's up, man? It's Chris, Brad's partner. How you doing?
Good. I told our realtor, I went ahead and signed so he didn't have to send the guy over, because I was just to the point where another friend might tell me, So I was like, okay, cool. So he said, okay, no problem. That's cool, man. I respect that. He goes, but I was looking at the contract. He goes, I noticed their deposit was only $100. He's like, I want to make sure because the lowest he's ever seen is between 5 and 10,000. He said over 5%. I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And then he's like, well, just be careful because at closing, when they go to pay out, $600,000 or whatever it is, and they can't get it, you're already gone. Just prepare yourself and ask. And I said, okay, well, I'll ask.
Yeah, 100%. And, he wouldn't be doing his job if he didn't tell you to ask about that. So, as an agent, the types of transactions that he's used to is traditional transactions on market where you got families that are buying one house at a time. And in those types of transactions, it is generally common practice to put somewhere in the neighborhood of about 3% down as an earnest money deposit for consideration because you're only buying one house, right? In the investing space, we're generally locking up anywhere from 5 to sometimes 10 properties a day under contract and to move forward with. And so if we were putting down 3 to 5% earnest money deposit on that many properties, well, one, we wouldn't be able to do that many properties. It would severely limit our ability to enter into contract. But the other thing is, on this particular transaction, remember, we use a multi-tiered approach to find the actual end buyer for this. So that end buyer is going to be putting a more substantial earnest money deposit down when we get that buyer. But for the reason we do $100 is because there has to be some amount legally in order for the contract to be a valid. It's called consideration. So in order for the contract to actually be valid legally, there has to be some dollar amount. And so that's what we put down. But yeah, we're going to go through the whole process. We have a lot of different buyers that are constantly reaching out to us for properties. And so, we're extremely confident that we're going to be able to get this thing across the finish line for you in a timely fashion and to your expectations. So I wasn't part of the conversations that you and Brad had, but I'm sure, we have a pretty standard process for it. So I'm sure he went over all the details on, what the next steps are and everything. And
yeah, I had the guys out do their thing. Yeah, have all the inspectors come out and just make time for them. come do their inspecting.
Awesome. Where is this is your primary residence?
Yes, it is.
Where are you off to next?
Missouri.
Oh, okay. Is that where you're from?
No, I'm going there. I'm going to take a job opportunity, which is with the same company, and try to grow that region a little bit and make my money stretch a little bit more and prepare for the next phase.
Yeah.
Still have a little bit of strength left in my bones,
I got you, man. Yeah, making it stretch more. Definitely Missouri will do that for anywhere. I'll do that for you over San Diego. That's for sure.
Have you ever seen, and I'm sure this is a yes and a no, has there ever been any issues with like that final, the closing time, whenever that may be, whether it's a little early or on time, being that 60 day, because I should be out a little bit earlier or whatever. So whatever that looks like, has there ever been a time where that money has been available, like the final number? Like, well, we don't have all of it, but we have some of it, and wait, that kind of thing. I didn't see any wording like that.
No, because generally speaking, so buyers are typically bringing funds, and this is part of the reason why it's really important to make sure that the people that you're working with are really well versed in this process and professional in the way that, so we do pre-vetting, right? So more often than not, you'll see this a lot with on-market properties, right? Where a property goes into escrow and then they go through all these like jumping through hoops. And then for whatever, like maybe the buyer goes out and buys a flat screen TV on a credit card. And then all of a sudden it changes their traditional mortgage, terms. And now they can't qualify, right? So it falls out of escrow. And the main reason that happens, quite frankly, is real estate agents as a whole are generally uneducated about real estate on a big picture, right? What they know is they know one thing. They're basically one trick ponies. They know how to list properties, market them, and talk to buyers and sellers. But they don't know structuring. They don't know underwriting. They don't know properly vetting buyers. There's some agents, I would say maybe 5% of agents are like really, really good at properly vetting buyers to make sure that they're qualified, right? And I don't mean just like getting a pre-qualification letter. Anybody can get a pre-qualification letter, but there's other things that go into it. So when you understand like the federal guidelines for underwriting and loan qualification, it makes it a lot easier for you to identify somebody that's incapable of actually getting all the funds versus somebody that's capable of getting all the funds. So we put a lot of emphasis in properly vetting the buyers and putting them through our own internal process before we even get them locked up under contract, because we know that if we lock them up under contract, then they can drag out the process. So we want to make sure that we're qualifying the right buyer. So that's one thing. The second thing is most of our buyers are investor buyers. And investor buyers, they play in a very different pool. They're working with a different method of funding. Usually either they have their own cash, they have investments that they're taking to turn into this, right? Like self-directed IRAs and other types of things like that. A lot of times they're 1031 exchanging from properties that they've sold in the past 2 or 3 months to put them into a new property, or they're using hard money, which is short-term transactional funding that they get. And it's basically considered cash. So that's typically the buyers that we're generally working with.
Okay. And so I think that only raises up 2 questions. One being, God, I almost lost it. Okay, there we go. I got it. When I contacted my mortgage company, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I just asked for a buyout number. I'm a no penalty buyout. And it was pretty much the exact same number that was on my mortgage statement, like what you owe. And I was like, what's my buyout? Is there any other fees? No, this is your buyout. If you want to buy out of the loan, this is what it is, 200 and whatever it is. There's no, I was like, well, that's the same number that's on my mortgage statement. And she said, well, yeah, that's exactly right. So if you want to buy out, I can send you a letter. And they did. They actually sent me a letter. I didn't really ask for it. They said, I'll send you a buyout letter. And, you recently contacted us for your buyout. Here's your number. Have a nice day. Is that buyout number the same number for you when you guys pay for it? Because I thought I had to do it once the money was in escrow, but do they give you the same number or do they increase it?
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about any of that. What happens is title, so I'm sure you're familiar with title insurance, right?
Yeah.
So anytime a property is bought and sold, you always go through title and you purchase what's called title insurance. And that's basically you're paying a fee to ensure that when the title company goes through and verifies any liens or encumbrances on the property, where like the mortgage or any other liens, they're going to find out the exact amount. So they'll go to the mortgage company and they'll say the buyout is $237,000.28, right? And then they'll say, okay, well, there's also like a mechanics lien from a window company, and that's like $7,000. And then there's this lien and there's that lien. They'll total it up, and then they'll say, okay, we're insuring this property, this transfer for this total amount, and it's the sum of all those liens. In the event that the liens exceed that amount, then that insurance company will pay out that difference and they'll cover that mistake that they made. So I give you all that context to tell you that the title company, they're going to talk to the mortgage company. They'll get the final payoff at closing. That payoff that they sent you, did they give you a date that that's good till?
Yeah, I think it was like 30 days.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was a random thing. I just randomly, since I started thinking about what I was going to do when I came back from El Centro to San Diego maybe a month ago, and I called and I said, hey, what's my number? And she says, here's your number. Awesome, thank you. So it's even if I call today, it would be the same number. It's not that much. I mean, it's almost on point with what is the balance on the loan.
Yep.
You know,
there will be like a daily rate that gets attributed. So like, after that 30 days or whatever that's good through, after that, it'll change slightly each day based on the interest rate that your mortgage is. What'll happen is, that's why, like, when it comes to closing, title always wants to make sure that they pull that title report and they get all those numbers like leading up to closing, as close to closing as possible, because they want it to be the most accurate number. So they'll re-pull that directly from the mortgage lender and verify that. And then what'll happen is when we go to closing, all the funds will get put into closing, into escrow. Then escrow will get instructions from title saying, the mortgage payoff is $250,000. And so they'll take the total amount in there minus the $250,000, because they'll wire the funds to the mortgage company on your behalf. And then whatever's left over, whatever profit you're due or proceeds you're due, that will then get distributed to you from escrow.
Yeah, I think the only thing they'll see is the transaction would be somewhat easy as solar panels. Everything else there's nothing else really on it.
Got it.
Nothing else on it.
Okay.
And even when I got those panels, I'm like, this is not a lien, right? They're like, oh, no, it's not a lien. I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's, when I did my refinance to get the 2.1, of course, it came up as a lien, and I called them. I was like, I thought you said it wasn't a lien. And then they sent the papers and they cleared it and all that stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Is that a lease, or did you purchase them, or is it a power purchase agreement?
I'm going to go with the latter. I think it's the power purchase, because they put them on. I couldn't pay it off because I told them one of two things. I said, I'll just give you the $25,000, whatever they cost to get you guys out, and I'll just deal with everything else, so I don't have to see this lien. Or you guys can come and take them off the roof, because I don't want to slow down. When I was doing my refi, I said, there's only a couple of days window, and if you guys aren't going to push this paperwork through so I can do this, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go up there and I'll take them off, and I'll put them on the street and come pick them up whenever you want. And they push the paperwork through. But I think, they put them on the roof. I pay 13 cents for every kilowatt. Yeah. And my bill is automatically deducted. And I only see a credit. I see credits coming from San Diego with San Diego Gas and Electric, which I never cashed out. I just have a value, I guess, a negative account on my San Diego Gas and Electric, because I don't pay them anymore. I don't pay gas. But those panels stay with the house. They go with the house. And I guess it's the same thing. Is it
Solar City, Sunrun, or?
It's Sunrun now.
Sunrun,
yeah.
Okay.
They bought from Vivint.
Okay. Yeah, years ago I used to work for Vivint, so I did solar sales for Vivint. So basically the way it works...
Exactly. Perfect. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's super easy. So Sunrun there's a transfer fee. It's like $250, I believe. Last time I dealt with one, it was like $250. So you can either pay a $250 fee and it'll just automatically transfer to the new owner, and that'll avoid the new owner having to go through like a credit check and all that jazz, and it speeds up the process. That's usually the easiest way to do it. Otherwise, they put them through a credit check. But even the credit check, I mean, it's the same thing, because basically Sunrun is the electric company for you. And so the same way when you sign up for SDG&E, they put you through a credit check as well. Just it's a standard practice. So it's the same exact thing. So So it's not a big deal. It'll just transfer over without any problems.
Yeah, we can do that 250. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's well worth a hassle for everybody, because everybody in the neighborhood's got it now.
Yep. Oh yeah. Exactly.
My neighbor across the street is the one who's set to get it.
Nice.
I think that's really it, man. I just I just got anxiety, and it's just me, man. It's just me and you two.
Hey, I totally get it, man. You're wise to get all your questions answered and everything, and do your due diligence. And so,
yeah, man. These questions a lot. Does everybody have them, or does some people have some kind of grip on what the hell they're doing?
Yeah, no, for the most part, these are very common questions. Because the reality is, most real estate transactions go down the normal way, right? You list a property, you do your walkthroughs and your showings and all that. So that's what people are used to. So anything that's not that, usually it comes with extra questions. And so this is something we're well versed in. We deal with it all the time, and we're doing transactions like this all over the country. So, we're used to this. So not a big deal, man. Like, don't feel like any type of way about it. Our job is to make you feel really comfortable and, hold your hand through the whole process and, give you that peace of mind knowing that you made the right decision.
All right.
So,
hey, thanks, Brad. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
To meet one of you two in the upcoming, and, so are you out of San Diego as well?
Yeah, we're both out of San Diego.
I'm your local discount pair guy, if he didn't tell you that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm at the Lemon Grove location currently.
Well, one of the things I will kind of tell you about too, if you're ever looking to passively invest in real estate at all. So, we buy houses a whole host of different ways, and, and sometimes it's us buying it, and sometimes it's people we work with that buy them. But oftentimes, when we're buying cash, we don't just keep cash in the bank. We have investors that we work with, and usually it's one of the following things. It's either friends and family that will invest some money that they have into our business, or more often than not, it's sellers that have sold properties to us and cashed out a bunch of equity, and they're looking for somewhere to put some of that equity.
It's funny, because I'm looking for alternative ways to invest money to where it can work for me. But that would be definitely something I'm interested in. Okay. Because I'm going to hold that money, and I was going to try to hold on to about 200 of it and try to invest.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so we do it. There's a few different types of ways that people can partner and invest with us. So it depends whether you're looking to be an equity partner or a debt partner. So a debt partner is literally, they're essentially just being a private money lender. They lend us, call it $10,000, and it's like 7.5%, 8% interest only payments. And so whatever that term is, if it's a 12-month term, then they'll get interest only payments for 12 months. And then at the end of 12 months, they'll get their 10 grand back. So that's a debt partner. An equity partner is somebody who is going to give us, like, let's say we're buying a property that's $300,000, and it requires us, and the way we structure the deal requires us to bring 10% down. So we need $30,000 down. So an equity partner would give us that $30,000, 10%, and then they would get somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15% equity in the property. And so they would be a long-term partner in that particular property. And so if it's a short-term rental or a long-term rental, they'll get that percentage of equity in the cash flow. And then when it sells down the road, they'll get their, whatever their equity amount is at that point. So if it doubles in value, then they're getting double the money they put in when we go to sell it. So those are the two types of partners that we work with from investor standpoints. And then every deal is different. So the terms of each deal can be different. Like we're doing a deal, like a long-term rental property where it's just going to be your normal 12-month rental, that's going to be minimal cash flow, right? So it's not going to be something you're going to it's not like winning the lottery. And then other deals, like we have a deal in Indio, right near Stagecoach and Coachella, where that one is going to cash flow like $3,000 to $5,000 a month. And so if somebody's bringing in, 10% for the upfront money to get into the deal, then they're getting $300 to $500 a month in cash flow. And then whenever we sell it in the future, they'll get, their 10% or whatever it is out of the deal when we sell it, down the road in a few years or whatever. So, yeah, every deal is structured differently, but that's kind of like the large umbrella of different types of ways you can invest with us.
That is fantastic. That I'm in. I'd actually be in both.
Okay.
I mean, the equity part is the bigger lump sum, but the smaller one, like the private, is even though it's not much, I don't know. I don't know. If it's like a 30 to 50,000, that's okay.
Yeah, those dollar amounts that I was coming up with were just random dollar amounts. Like we have a private lender. Like on one deal, we did a mobile home. They invested $100,000, and it's just an interest only loan for 12 months, and they have the option to renew every 12 months if they want to. So it all just depends. I mean, what we would do is we would put you on our short list of investing partners. And then when deals come up, we would reach out to you and say, hey, here's a couple of the deals that we have working. Do any of these appeal to what you're looking for? And then we'll kind of go over the numbers with you and show you what it would look like and what kind of the returns would look like. And then you just decide if it's something you want to invest in or if you don't want to invest in. And then, if you do, it's been great. We work out the terms and write up the agreement. If you don't, then no problem. We'll call you when the next deal comes.
When this deal finishes, and I hope to God, every little bit, I don't pray for a lot of things. Some things I do, like coming back to San Diego was one of those. I don't ask God for many things at all because it gets crazy. But if this goes through beautifully, I'm in. I already know because I've been talking with my AVP and senior vice president out there. I'm not going to make a lot that first year. Mm-hmm. So if I hold that 200 or whatever it is, 250, and if I can invest that and at least make a little bit extra on the side because the store is not going to make that because I'm not going to get a toy store to get there to begin with. My second year I will be because I'll get in a rotation of seniority, but not just popping in. That's kind of how our system works. That would be like hard charging, get ready to get in that. Because even when I find my place, I'm not going to put all the money into it. I'm going to put everything but 250, whatever's left over is going into the purchase. So I'll still have a payment, but it's just going to be like, I'm anticipating $800 to $1,000, 20,000 down on $350,000, 15-year loan at, whatever the percentage is. Hopefully it'll be low. So that's kind of that's a quick painting of that picture. So I would be looking for something that's, that's legitimate, $500, $400, $600 a month. That would be, within that, random number, that would be okay. I'd be in on that.
Yeah, totally. So I'll add you to the list, and then we can certainly reach out and talk.
Yeah, well, even the places I was looking, as far as Zillow goes, I just did a quick Zillow search. It's not a hard number, but I did Zillow. There's a lot of places that are within, I would say, between 325 and 400,000, and I can just keep going and go to town to town to town to town to town, and even a place at 425. Say an offer comes in, we just throw in an offer. I don't know how many people are getting outbid out there, like they do out here.
Yeah.
Well, hey, 380, 385, 390, whatever the number is. So between, I would say 350 to 400, put 170,000 down and work out that loan to a 15-year loan, get the best percentage rate I can get. I think that payment's going to be pretty low.
Yeah.
But on the income side, as far as bonusing, I'm not going to really start bonusing for a year. So, any money can be made, and if I make some, then I can keep investing strong. And the better you and I, or you help me along this investment, the more I can invest, the more it's good for everybody.
For sure. So yeah, I think you'll be in a good position, man, because like the reality is, we try to, again, whether you're a debt or equity partner. I mean, if you're a debt partner, then you're just getting straight interest only, and it's secured by, deed of trust, promissory note, and all that stuff. So it's all backed up by the real estate, and then if you're an equity partner, you own a portion of the property, right? So, and usually what we do is if somebody's putting, let's say if somebody's bringing 10% of the money to the deal, we're usually going to give a little bit more than 10%. I don't know, I'm just making up numbers, but let's say we gave 15%. Well, you're already getting a 50%, return just on the equity that you're getting on the money you brought to the table. So, you know, it really gives you some protection in the deal. So even if the market does go down a little bit, you know, it would have to go down a sizable amount for you to even just break even. You know what I mean? So that's how we structure it, because, you know, for us, like, we understand, like, being a lender, you know, like, sometimes that can be scary. And so we want to put it, you know, set it up in a way where, you know, they have confidence and can feel safe in the investment, knowing that, like, hey, you know, this is not going to just be, you know, the market's not going to go to zero for real estate. We know that, right? So,
right. Well, I would be more than happy to even try. I mean, even if it's a year, you know, see how it goes to help balance out my year. I'm in for that.
Okay.
All the money was like what you said. You're gonna put it in a bank? Oh, yeah. I mean, for now, I'm not gonna leave with the escrow company. So yeah, it's gonna go in my Chase account.
Yeah.
And when it, you know, and then Chase could be looking at me like, "Oh, you're awesome. Thank you so much for giving up all your money."
Yeah, it's so funny, right? Like, you put your money into a savings account, and they're like, we'll give you like 0.04% return each year. And then you walk out to your car and you're like, oh crap, I forgot, I wanted to do some renovations. And you walk back in, you're like, hey, if I got a construction loan from you guys, you know, what kind of interest would I pay? And they're like 5%. And it's like, wait a second, you're going to give me my money back and make 4.5% on my money? Like, that's basically what you're doing. Yep.
That's why they're all the banks.
Exactly. That's why a lot of times, a lot of the deals that we do, which is like really, really appealing for a lot of investors, is we'll find sellers that either have like a really low interest rate and they don't have much equity, and we'll just take over that mortgage payment and buy the house. Or if they have a lot of equity, we'll seller finance their property, right? So they'll basically give us the house, we'll give a small down payment, and then we'll make monthly payments to the seller. And we'll usually pay, you know, sometimes we'll pay a little bit more for the property in that scenario, you know, when it makes sense, when we can cash flow it as a rental. So those are the types of deals that we really try to get into. And that's where we'll usually bring in an equity partner to the table, because we usually only have to bring like 5 to 15% cash to close.
Awesome.
So yeah, we'll keep you on the short list, and then any opportunities that come up after we close, like we'll keep you on that short list and let you know what we got available, and then yeah, let's make some money together.
Cool. I like it. Nice. I appreciate it, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, no worries. Glad we connected, and yeah, have a great rest of your day, man. We'll keep you in the loop as to the whole process.
Thank you so much, man. This is great. This is well worth it. I'm glad I got to chat with you too. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll see you later, man.
I appreciate you. See ya. All right, guys. So that went from me overcoming the objection of why are you only putting $100 EMD down to, man, that sounds awesome. I'm really happy I connected with you guys, and I'm really looking forward to doing this, to now I've got $250,000 to $265,000 when this deal is closed, that I would love to invest with you and be either a private money lender and a debt partner, or an equity partner. So if you guys are struggling to raise capital and you're looking to raise money for your business, trust me when I tell you, you have a captive audience every single day. If you're talking to sellers, and this is why I'm not the biggest fan of agent outreach. I'll do agent outreach, but I love direct to seller way more than agent outreach, because of the simple fact, not only can I get a deal, I can get a deal at a much better price than working with an agent. I can structure my own terms, and almost very frequently, I can convert that seller into a lender in our business. So if you guys want to learn more about how we're doing that in our business, definitely click the link below, because we have an entire mastermind, right? And so if you guys are looking to gain wisdom and insight, you know, the quickest way to grow your business is to follow people that have already grown their business and are doing what you're looking to do. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on that, but stay tuned for the next video. If you want to see more calls just like this, click the next video right here and watch us close more deals.